There we go. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Nancy from Nancy Inspired. For those that are new here, I have a gift that I call soul telepathy. I'm able to hear what your soul is trying to tell you for your next steps in your evolution. When I do a group reading like this to start with, it's always what is the collective messaging for the group, myself included. And the first part of the live, I do a group message, and then the second part of the live, I do individuals. So the individual messaging, don't put your name in yet. I'll let you know when, otherwise it'll just get lost in the chat. And if you were here last week and didn't get your message, like we ran out of time, because that happens, I usually try to put those people to the top. So that is a summary of what I do. Oh, Melinda, you're so sweet. Thank you. I had some things this morning, so I had to make an effort. It's funny because when I first started doing these lives, I felt like I had to do my makeup and do everything. I don't wear makeup almost ever, and so I just decided, why should I have to put makeup on? So yeah, but I am freshly showered. But all right. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Bev. Hello, Dawn. Hello, Maggie. Hello, Johnny. Hello, everyone. All right. I didn't get a chance to do my clearing work and get myself prepared, so we're going to do that together. But the feedback that I've gotten from most of you is that you actually enjoy doing the clearing at the beginning. So I didn't rush myself to get there. Thank you, Carolina. I'm not feeling 100%. Today I have a little bit of a headache. There's definitely some stuff going around, but you guys always make me feel better. So here we go. Let's just close our eyes for a minute. I'm just going to ground into the space. And I'm just going to take a second. I need a couple extra seconds. And I'm just going to ask, is there, can I, may I, and shall I dose? Is there any reason why I can't at this moment in time? I'm just going to start with, can I, may I, and shall I? Are my intentions clear and from the light? Am I able to connect to source information at this time? Oh, yeses. Is there any reason why I shouldn't at this moment in time? I was a little worried. I was going to say no because I wasn't feeling great, but no, we're good. We're good. So now this part, close your eyes if it's safe to do so. And just imagine a blue-white light swirling around you counterclockwise. And as it swirls around you counterclockwise, I hold the pendulum up, as it swirls around you counterclockwise, it clears out everything that doesn't serve you. So we're cleansing, clearing, and balancing our hearts, our minds, our bodies, and our spirits on all levels for our highest and best good. Just imagine that blue-white light swirling around you counterclockwise, and it's just pulling out at the root everything that doesn't serve you. I'm getting some things pulled out of my third eye. Could just be my head, the headache that I have. Let's just give it away. Give it away to source. As you just close your eyes and you feel this energy swirling around you, if there's anything that you would like to release to divine source, like my headache, just send it away. You don't need it. Cleanse, clear, and balance our hearts, our minds, our bodies, and our spirits on all levels for our highest and best good. A little bit in the solar plexus too needs to be cleared out. We're just gonna cleanse, clear, and balance our hearts, our minds, our bodies, and our spirits on all levels for our highest and best good. All right, there we go. Cleared. Now I'm just gonna ask that my intuition be raised to the highest level that I can accommodate with at this moment in time. Allow me to hear clearly for everyone's highest and best good. And then now the next step is I ask for permission to connect to all of you. So can I, may, and shall I do a reading for my Insight Timer friends and family, both those that listen now and those that listen later? And I'm getting a yes. Is there any reason why I shouldn't at this moment in time? All right, good. I was kind of like, oh, what's it going to say? And yes, there's no reason why I shouldn't. Then I ask that everybody's intuition be raised to the highest level that they can accommodate with at this moment in time. Allow their souls to speak freely and clearly for everyone's highest and best good. Perfect. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome for the clearing. Yeah, it's a quick little practice. I do that regularly. And then good, I got a yes. I was mildly worried. I think that happened once, and all the times I've done lives, I came on, I wasn't feeling super well, and I wasn't feeling great, and I got a no. I got a nope, you can't do this right now. So we ended just having sort of like a little question and answer period. So I was like, oh, I hope I get a yes. But I did. I always respect it. If it's a no, then it's a no. Hello, Julie. All right. Well then, without further ado, I'm going to take a sip of a little water. And I'm going to get started. What is the messaging? Interesting. So it's coming at me as a bit of a pressure kind of at the back of my head. I'm just going to ask what that is. Pressure. All right, I understand. Okay. Actually, Melinda, to be honest, after doing that clearing, my headache actually doesn't feel as bad anymore. It was kind of making me want to do this, and now it's just a little dull ache. So whatever it is, it was a bit emotional as well and a bit spiritual, so I got rid of it. What I'm feeling is, okay, just wondering, I was just asking how to word it. We need to be careful that we're not succumbing to external pressures. We need to remember that there is a bigger picture to everything. And I swear I'm hijacking this right now, because one of the reasons why I am feeling run down is because I am feeling a lot of external pressure for things. And what I'm hearing is that there's different levels to pressure and stress. That one level of stress is a motivator. It's something to say, okay, I want this to be different. I'm motivated. I want to make a change. I want to do something different. It helps you to like stay in momentum, stay going. And then there's another level of stress that is a dangerous level of stress. And it's a stress, this is what I'm hearing, is some of this stress is put on ourselves by comparisons, by interesting goals that are not in alignment. At first, I started to say unrealistic expectations in my head, but goals that are not in our alignment. So when we are interesting. Okay, hearing to tell you a story. So financial things, I'm sure for many, can sometimes be a stress. And that's one that sometimes I get caught in a little loop myself where I start thinking scarcity. And then I have to remind myself of gratitude, that I have a home, I have a roof over my head, I have a car to drive, I have a job, I have sources of income, and I have lots of love, I have food, I have what I need. But I start getting into these external stressors. And this is the part of the story I'm supposed to tell you. I'm kind of like, I feel a little vulnerable. I feel like I'm sharing like my secrets. So I've been doing some work with manifesting and whatnot. And the other day I was meditating and kind of having a conversation with my higher self. And I was like, why do I have so much trouble manifesting finances? And the answer was that I would just give it away because I haven't learned to set proper boundaries with the people I need to set proper boundaries with. So I'm not going to receive that abundance until I learn how to set proper boundaries. I'm telling you this story because sometimes the things that aren't working, that are stressing us out, and it's like, why isn't this working? Why am I putting in all this effort and it's not coming to me? And it's because what you're asking for is not in alignment with you yet. You haven't done the steps, or you haven't learned all the variables, or you haven't got to quite the right place for that to all work. And that if it all worked magically right now, it would probably be detrimental. So, weird example, but I'm here to tell you the example. When I got my very first teaching job, I was put into kind of a role I do now, instructional coach. So it was to work with our special needs students and help teachers how to work with our special needs students. Well, I was a brand new teacher. I had no skills in this area. I had some knowledge and I had some passion, but I didn't actually have any skills. What seasoned teacher is going to listen to a 21-year-old to say, this is how you should do it or this is how you shouldn't? So I was thrown into that role and I didn't do very well. I didn't succeed at that role. I did my best, but I didn't succeed at that role because I didn't have all the knowledge. I didn't have all the variables. I didn't have all the experience. I didn't have the experiences to learn how to communicate in the ways that seasoned teachers needed to hear. Now I'm very successful at that role. So what I'm hearing is that some of the pressures that we're putting on ourselves, some of the things that we're saying, this is what I need, this is what I want, and we're not getting it, and we're feeling frustrated that we're not getting it, it's because we're not actually in alignment yet. We're not in the right place and we're not in the right time. The job I did then, 33 years ago, I wasn't ready for. Now I'm ready for and I'm successful because I have learned. Just like when I was trying to manifest finances and being told I haven't learned to set proper boundaries yet. If I all of a sudden came into a bunch of money, it would probably all be given away. And you know what? As much as I was a little irritated with that message, they're not wrong. And so I realized that I am putting this pressure on myself and why isn't this working? But I don't have all the answers yet. I don't have the variables yet. I haven't done the learning yet. So what I'm hearing about that pressure that we're putting on ourselves is if things aren't panning out exactly the way that you think they should be and that you're putting the work and why isn't it working, there's a reason. Maybe the circumstances aren't right yet. Maybe the learning isn't there yet. Maybe the variables aren't there yet. So instead of like, why isn't this happening? Ask, what pieces need to be in place? What do I need to learn in order to make this happen? What do I need to focus on in order to allow this to be a reality? And then I heard, and then release the pressure. Because pressure, unless it's the healthy, like motivating, like, hey, I want to do this and I'm excited and I got a little bit of a time crunch, so I get my stuff done. I tend to be a procrastinator to the very last minute, and as soon as it's due last minute, that's when I hand it in. That's okay pressure. But the pressure that we put on ourselves when we're not ready to fully have certain things come into fruition, we need to let go of because it's not healthy. And I'm being told that that's a big part of my headache is the pressure I'm putting on myself. The other thing I'm hearing is that when we're trying to manifest, that when we're trying to ask for things, sometimes the very things we need to do are the things that show up. So it's not what we're manifesting. So I'm hearing to tell you another story. So when I've been trying to manifest some finances, some financial abundance, I was told that my boundaries aren't strong enough yet to allow myself to receive this financial abundance because I'm not strong enough yet at setting boundaries in certain places. Well, it's absolutely amazing how almost every day I've had a circumstance come up where I had to practice setting a very firm boundary, especially when it came to finances. Like silly things that seem like, why is this even happening? How is this even happening? But it is giving me opportunities to continually practice. So it makes me realize that I am actually manifesting exactly what I need to in terms of improving my financial abundance. I'm manifesting opportunities to practice setting my boundaries. So what I'm hearing to tell you is that if you're trying to manifest something, if you're trying to reach a goal, and you keep running into the same kind of stumbling block, ask yourself, is there a learning here? Is there something here that I need to do that this repeated pattern is showing up? Is this the missing piece? Is this something that I have to overcome in order to get to the next place? Because what I'm hearing is that it's not random. And I feel that this week, especially, I feel that because I've had some of the weirdest circumstances show up in terms of needing to set a financial boundary, like even at work, like weird, like, no, actually, I don't need to pay for that, you know? And so, yeah, very, very unusual, but makes completely sense. So cute. My neighbor's son is laughing outside, and it's so sweet. All right. Anything else on that? No. Be aware. Be aware. Melinda says, my awareness is amazing. Well, sometimes, yes. Sometimes when I remember to ask and when I remember to stop and go, okay, what is the message here? Then yes, I am so blessed that I get messaging all the time. My problem is remembering to ask, because sometimes I get frustrated first. And I'm like, what is going on? Why isn't this, And then I remember to ask, and then it comes clear. So I just need to cut out that first bit of frustration first. Excuse me. Sorry, my throat is a little definitely fighting something. But first couple weeks back at work, I work in a petri dish of diseases. So of course I might catch something. All right. Next bit of messaging. What do I hear for us today? All right. Interesting. Okay, this kind of goes again a little bit into, we're talking about manifesting, I guess, today a bit. But what I'm hearing is that scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset. I think I'm hijacking this for you guys today, but hopefully it's relevant for all of you too. Sure is relevant for me. Scarcity mindset is that mindset where you're focused on the lack, focusing on what you don't have, focusing on what you want as opposed to what you have. Scarcity mindset is rooted in comparison. It's rooted in feelings of loss, lack, lower vibrational feelings. And that scarcity mindset, that scarcity mindset I'm hearing is it causes us to behave in ways that is not in alignment with our higher self. It causes us to perhaps be irritable, to perhaps be grumpy, to perhaps be irrational, to perhaps be impulsive. That scarcity mindset has us behave in ways that is not helpful for us. And I'm hearing to share that as I was focusing on some of the frustrations I was having this week, and then being put into these constant situations around boundary setting, I was feeling really frustrated and just kind of grumpy. And I was a bit snappy. I kind of was snapping at my granddaughter a little bit. I was just snappy, irritable, and it was making me behave in ways that I'm not proud of. I didn't do anything terrible, but I'm not proud. I mean, it's coming from that scarcity mindset. So what I'm hearing, okay, it's okay to acknowledge what you're not happy about. It's okay to acknowledge what you're frustrated about. We don't have to have this, toxic false positivity where everything's great, when sometimes it's not, right? But what I'm hearing is instead of getting locked in scarcity, recognize what it is you don't like. I don't like feeling like I'm working really hard and I just am not getting ahead financially. I don't like that feeling. That's okay for me to acknowledge that. But then turning it around and saying, I have been blessed with gifts that I can use to help myself make money. I have been blessed with tons of love. I have been blessed with being born in a country that allows me to be flexible and supported and whatnot, and allow my kids to be supported and whatnot. And I can think of all the things I'm grateful for, I guess, as opposed to that scarcity. So it's not about just ignoring it, because if we ignore it, I know we've talked about this before. If you ignore something, that's hurting. if you ignore something that's right, you've hurt your knee, you ignore it, you keep walking on it, keep running on it, whatever, it's going to hurt more. It's not going to get better, right? So it's not about ignoring it, but it's about acknowledging it. And then what do you need to do? What do you need to do to look after that sore knee? Maybe wrap it, maybe ice it, maybe elevate it. I don't know. What do you need to do to release the pain of feeling that scarcity, of feeling that frustration? Because the frustration is real. And to just say, oh, I'm fine, everything's great, is not part of our condition. What I'm hearing you say is that part of the human condition is suffering. I know they talk about that in Buddhism, that there is a cycle of suffering. And that's not to say, oh, being human is miserable. It's that human life inevitably is going to have some challenge, is going to have some suffering. It is our cycle, it is our wheel, it is our life. We are inevitably going to have that suffering. It's what we do with that. Are we going to get locked in that suffering and then continue with that scarcity mindset, which actually projects and says, okay, I'm frustrated with being broke. We're basically saying, that I'm continuing to be frustrated, right? And instead of saying, okay, yeah, I'm frustrated with how things are right now, I am excited for opportunities to change it. I am open to opportunities to change it. I am in love with opportunities to change it. Those are the wording I just heard. That one's a little harder for me to say, but that's what I just heard. I am in love with all the opportunities I have to change and make different choices. And right away, I'm brought to my boundary setting. As I get stronger and I make different choices and I set different boundaries, I guarantee my situation is going to change. And so rather than getting stuck and lost in the lower vibrational thinking, it's good to acknowledge, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Ask for guidance. What can I do about this? How can I improve this? What messaging do I need to hear about this? And then allowing things to take shape. And that, I guess, that's a hard one. So I'm hearing that there's a certain degree of letting go. That it's, you put in your order and then you let it go. You let go of the worry. You let go of the need to action, to do. Now, just as a little caveat, in order to do what you need or whatnot, it's about, setting goals, and you have to work towards your goals. You can't just like, oh, I want $1 million and I'm going to sit here and wait for it. It's not going to happen. You got to put yourself out there and match with the frequencies and the energies that are bringing it towards you. However, it's not about chasing it. It's like not about chasing the tail. It's about putting it out there and then divinely being guided into the directions that you need to go, asking to be open to opportunities, asking to be open to possibilities, and allowing yourself to be open to those possibilities. And not getting locked in that scarcity mindset. Scarcity mindset, the image I'm getting is like quicksand. It's an easy way to start spiraling. And I know for myself the last couple of weeks, I definitely have been spiraling a little bit with that. I'm just going to close the window here. So we've got all kinds of things going on outside. Okay. So it's easy to start spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. And then what happens, the image I'm getting is like quicksand, right? You get deeper and deeper and deeper into this negative vibrational thought. And then the negative vibrational thought actually prevents those higher vibrational energies from reaching you. And so acknowledge the things you're frustrated at, acknowledge the things you want to change, ask for guidance and help. But as you're asking for guidance and help, ask for that guidance and help in order to help change your mindset as well as the situation. Okay, and I just heard fake it till you make it. So what that's about is it's like when you smile, right? When you're grumpy, right, and you're frustrated, if you make yourself smile, you automatically start releasing some of the endorphins and hormones, serotonin, dopamine, just by smiling. So even if in your brain you're like, oh, I'm really grumpy, rah, 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 By smiling, you start releasing those things. The more you release those things, the happier you become. So eventually your smile is not fake anymore. Same thing goes with scarcity mindset. When you are frustrated with things that you don't have, when you're feeling the loss and the regret of something you don't have, pretend that you're happy and content right now in this moment. I am blissfully content with everything. I feel like I'm lying when I say that, but as we say that, as we tell ourselves that, we actually start to release those things so that, you fake it till you make it. It's kind of like when you're not feeling well and you have to go do something, you get yourself dressed up, you are like, okay, I feel a little bit better, for right now. I'm not talking, pretending it's not there. Please don't do that. But it's about allowing yourself to believe in the possibilities. I'm just going to read the chat a little bit here. Hello, Alicia. Hello, lovely Nancy and beautiful souls. Lovely to connect on this new moon in Virgo and partial solar eclipse. The sunrise is looking divine here in Australia this morning. I hope I haven't missed too much messaging today. Always believe in divine timing, 100%. And hello, Angela. Fabulous. Shabbat, I had a similar message earlier on. Not avoiding life, staying stuck. Yes. Shabbat, I'd love to hear what your messaging is because I'm hearing that very loudly. In fact, I'm getting the quicksand image in my mind too. So wonderful to see you, Shabbat. And Anna, it's the new moon. Maybe that's why a lot of messaging on manifesting, 100%. Definitely relevant, yes. Awesome. All right, taking a sip of tea. Next bit of messaging. What do I hear? All right, so I became aware of this part of my head, probably because that's where my headache is a little bit. So it's just kind of pulsing a little bit. So then I was like, okay, what part am I supposed to pay attention to? A little bit of headache I have, and it was like, nope, underneath the headache. And what I got is like lights, like headlights, like headlights, little beams of light. And what I'm getting is that our third eye, our intuition, is always looking for exactly what it is we need. And when we are connected to that divine part of ourselves, that higher part of ourselves, that collective consciousness, divine source wisdom, it's helping to whisper little messages to us saying, this is what you need. So for me, with the setting boundaries, I had the weirdest situations at work and various situations this week. It's like, this is what you need. This is what you need, right? And I realize that I'm actually looking, okay, I need to figure out what I need to do to break down the barriers towards what I need to manifest. And so my intuition is on high going, woo, it's like a magnet. It's like a beacon saying, I need to figure out what I need to do in order to move forward. And so it's like a magnet. It's actually attracting the very things I need, which for me seemed this week was boundary practice around money. So being aware, I'm just asking what do we need to be aware of? So being aware that your third eye is like a magnet. It's actually your intuition looking for validation. If we are, I hear rephrasing things as a question. What do I need? What do I need in order to move forward in the goal that I have? As opposed to what's wrong? Why am I staying stuck in this place? Why am I in this negative space? Because if you're asking, why am I in this negative space? It's going to show you all the reasons why you're there and why you're probably going to stay there. So it's about asking the right question. And what I'm hearing is that it's not that hard, which is funny because I'm hearing my Nancy brain is like, that's hard to rephrase. But what I'm hearing from divine messaging is that it's actually not that hard. It's about opening yourself up to learning, opening yourself up to the fact that everything is a lesson, everything is guidance, everything is movement towards peace. That's what I just heard. Everything is towards contentment. And so if we rephrase it as, what do I need to learn? And how can I learn to elevate myself? We're going to be shown examples. And then instead of getting frustrated with those examples, like me this week with all the boundary setting, it was really eye-opening to go, I'm asking about manifesting, and the reason why I can't manifest right now is because I need practice boundary setting. So the very thing that I'm asking for, which is the manifesting, is the very thing I'm getting practicing boundary setting. So allowing yourself to phrase things in the positive way and always treat everything as learning. What I'm hearing is our human condition, our purpose for being here on this planet at this time. Okay, I'm hearing we have two purposes on this planet at this time. One is to help elevate human consciousness. We elevate human consciousness through our actions, which elevate our own human consciousness as well as those around us. So everything that we do that comes from higher vibration, so anything based in love, in joy, in bliss, like all those higher vibrational energies, connection. Every time we are existing in that space, we're elevating our own human consciousness as well as those around us. Every time we dip down into lower vibrational stuff, anxiety, fear, depression, lack, scarcity, all those types of things, we have a lower vibration. Now, what I just heard is that every time we're given some lower vibrational stuff to work through and we manage to work through it and elevate the vibration, that's twice as powerful than just staying up here. So, it's funny because it makes me think of the prodigal son. There's a story. I work in a Catholic school. I can't say I'm not Catholic, baptized Catholic, but anyway, I hear these Bible stories. And the prodigal son, I remember being frustrated when I first learned of the prodigal son because, the one son who stuck there and did everything right all the time. Everything's good. The other son goes off, does things, causes problems, does whatever, and comes back. And there's this giant celebration for the kid that came back and kind of nothing for the one that was good all the time. And I always struggled with that story. I just understood it. Right now, I just understood it. Because what I was just told is that if we are constantly in this high vibration, constantly, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. We're a beacon of light and we're constantly in this elevated vibration. However, when we're given human condition, human crap to deal with, and we dip down and we manage to rise, there is more energy in that rise than there is if we just stay here. This is nice. This is great. If you can manage to stay in a constant elevated state, amazing. But anytime we're pushed down because of circumstances, life situations, things that are going on around us, whatever, and we manage to rise still, even with those things, that energy is even more powerful than just the energy of staying here. Staying here is great, but every time we rise, what I just got was an image. Ooh, what a beautiful image. Is that if we rise this energy, it creates this this cycle of energy that circles even more. Whereas if we're here, yes, there's a beautiful energy, vibrational, la 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 la, it comes down, whatever, like this. But when it pulls up, it's like this energy that just starts to cycle. So when we manage to get ourselves out of a negative headspace, when we manage to get ourselves out of negative thinking, scarcity mindset, feelings of lack, and we manage to find our way back to that elevated place, we have just created even more current. That's the word I'm hearing. Current, like wind currents and ocean currents, that when we elevate from a lowered state, we create currents of energy that ripple out and actually influence others even more than staying here. So that is why we are given crap to deal with. That is why part of being human is that we have some crappy circumstances that we have to deal with, or the things that we're given that kind of suck. It's so that we can rise out of that anyway. And the more we rise out of it, the more we are actually elevating human consciousness. So we have two jobs here. One is to learn, and the second is to elevate human consciousness, and not necessarily hierarchical. They're both the reasons why we're on this planet. And the reason we're given suffering is because as you rise out of suffering, you elevate even more. You elevate the vibrational energy of the planet even more. The vibrational energy of human consciousness even more when we rise out of situations that we don't like. That is a powerful little bit of messaging. I have to just internalize that for a second. Thank you, Melinda, for the donations. I really appreciate it. Just when you donated, I was like wallowing a little bit in my inability to manifest. So thank you for manifesting, helping me. I wasn't wallowing. I was just reflecting on scarcity mindset. Alicia says, I don't think it's faking it. It's embodying the vibration you want in your reality in the present so that you can move into that lifetime. Absolutely. 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 You know, it's, time isn't as linear as we perceive it to be. And in different different timelines, there's different things happening. Sorry, excuse me. I'm definitely a little under the weather today. All right, next bit of messaging. What I heard was celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. And as I tapped into those words, celebrate, 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 it was that we are all on a journey together. We are all connected in this incredibly beautiful dance that we call life. The fact that we are born into this existence, into this time frame, into this life space, into what I just heard is in this awakening that right now at this current time, it's been ongoing for a while, but right now is a really exciting time of awakening, that people are waking up. People that deeper parts of ourselves are waking up, and that's why we're feeling restless. That's why we're feeling dissatisfied, because we're like, no, there's a better way. There's a better way to be rooted and existed in love. And we're waking up. Everyone's waking up. And I said, I'm hearing celebrate, 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 celebrate that you are part of this beautiful time and space. And it's funny because sometimes, like, I know where I'm at right now, the political climate's a little crazy. And sometimes it's hard to feel celebratory, but we are in a time of awakening is what I'm hearing. And celebrate that we are part of this awakening. And sometimes awakening, okay, the image I got is sometimes waking up isn't all that fun. When you have to wake up in the morning and your alarm goes off and you know you got a busy day ahead, sometimes that first moment of awakening is like, oh no, I just want to go back to bed, you know? So sometimes awakening isn't like glory and roses. Sometimes it's challenging. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's daunting. But you can't experience joy and the beautiful day and all the possibilities if you don't wake up. If you don't wake up, you don't get to have all the possibilities that are offered to you. And so this time of awakening, sometimes it's tricky. Sometimes there's a lower vibrational energy around it. Sometimes there's challenge around it. But by waking up, by showing up, we are open to all the possibilities that this offers. And what I just heard is we are barely scratching the surface of the possibilities that are available to us. And the energy that I'm hearing around that, I'm getting images of like just this like this light energy and these like interconnected webs and all these like this beautiful like almost crystalline, like I'm just getting glimpses of like this world of like beauty that's fueled by love, and it's just this incredible place. And I'm getting glimpses of this. I don't exactly know what that is, but it feels like That's what's possible. As we awaken, as we become beings of love, as we become a whole globe rooted in love and that divine source, it's like this is what's possible. And it feels etheric. I if I could describe it, it feels like it's like if you were to take a crystal like this and make it into like a city and a way of being. That's what I'm seeing right now as I hear celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. That awakening and the possibilities of awakening is so beyond what we can comprehend. And that when we don't feel like waking up, because sometimes that involves some challenge, some strife, some pain, some whatever, recognize that when you do wake up, your day is an endless moments of possibility. And as a collective, as a human consciousness, if we can manage to wake up, the glimpses of what I'm getting right now is absolutely incredible. Like I wish I could just pull it out of my head, the images I'm getting, and give it to you. But it's like I'm getting these drops of these images of like when true awakening happens, what it can look like, what it can feel like, and it just feels absolutely etheric, like and light, just so much light. So interesting. I wish I could take that image right out of my head and show you what it looks like. This makes so much sense when we've been through so much and we learn from the situations. There's certainly a lot of growth, 100%. So true to think of yourself as a running fork. That's what I do on my higher frequency. Those around me, yes, as a tuning fork. I get it. I have no choice but to start rising to the same frequency we are generating. Absolutely. Such beautiful messaging today with all that's going around the globe and in our local communities. As the earth spins faster, we are seeing more and more turmoil. We sure are. And we will see more of this. So our jobs are to keep that frequency higher so we can move into the new age and ascend. Yes. And that ascension, that's what I'm feeling. I'm actually getting shivers. Like, and what's funny is my headache's completely gone. I like my headache just like as I tapped into that beautiful etheric world, my headache just disappeared because it feels like all the heavier, dense energy, I don't even know how to describe it, just isn't there. It's just light. It's just light and it's beautiful. And it's what's possible as awakening happens. Interesting. Beautiful, beautiful. I actually feel so much better than when I started today, which is probably why when I tapped in, I was like, should I do a reading today or should I leave it for today? I got told clearly, no, we need to do it. Okay, I am going to open it up now. I'm going to pause